I do think Khaled is in an interesting position because there's an extreme upside for Khaled. And when we look at it, Khaled doesn't even rap or he doesn't produce, according to people I speak to in the industry.
Nobody is your brother. Nobody.
Come on, Payne, don't do that. Payne,
nobody.
Payne, cause I hear it all the time. That's my brother.
Nah, bro, it's the brother shit. Nobody is your brother. I've had DJ Khaled.
Loon's not attacking Khaled. I'm attacking the system Khaled benefits in, right? So Khaled understands how to work the brother system. And for me, I understand that the industry has a silicone soul. And in this game, brother is damn near like a promo code. It's damn near like use Crow Brother to get 70% off or whatever you need this rap to do. I've watched people appropriate family culture and cloak business behind this family word as a means to get results, as a mechanism of control. And so we do have to watch people. I think T-Pain is talking right, but at the same time, we have to ask Pain, have you been the person to do that fake friendship shit? I was young and had mad respect for Jay-Z, but I ain't gonna lie, I had questions. Yo, they called they whole shit Roc La Familia. Benny Siegel went up to get a lawyer and the door wasn't answered. A few things gonna remain the same, some gonna change, but one thing we can count on is every single week it's up there podcast gonna drop some of that game, some on the ground for the hungry hound. Make sure you stay around, you understand me? Listen, plane or bus, just stop at SunTrust. If you're not on patreon.com right now, you're in the wrong place. That's where you support me at. I also want to have a call to action for the people who are viewing these episodes when they go live. Make sure you do also listen to the episodes that come out every Monday via audio. It's very important you listen to the audio as we are building something spectacular for the culture to participate in. Hopefully everyone had a tremendous holiday, Thanksgiving. Christmas is here. We're in the holiday spirit on this side. I'm gonna see how I can contribute to try to help a few people in my area. Also, let me address that because last week I seen a lot of people who really didn't understand what I was saying. When I spoke about I'd rather not be given a fish sandwich, I'd rather be given a fishing rod. I'd rather be taught to what the fish are, how to get the fish versus you give me a sandwich, because what we're dealing with even now, right? Today we're going to talk about how podcasting is changing, how the music business is changing. A lot of these individuals have been given fish sandwiches. You got to remember in this game, a lot of people have an option to take a fish sandwich or a fishing rod. They go with the fish sandwich. See, I ain't no fish sandwich kind of. I'm a fishing rod kind of. Cause tonight I might want fish sandwiches. Tomorrow I might want fish and spaghetti. But I ain't no fish sandwich handing me fish sandwich kind of guy. And so some people don't respect that. Other people acknowledge what I'm saying. And so for both people, just get to the line. I'll make you make a decision. The important thing I have to always remember is I ain't talking to everybody. And so I always want to be clear with that as well. There's a lot of people out here in the world talking. I ain't talking to everybody. I'm talking to my kind, my tribe. If you ain't a part of my tribe, it's understandable. Find your tribe. Just find your tribe. Everybody gonna have somebody that they gonna get this thing done with. My tribe, we gonna get it done at the highest level. If this is not for you, you can exit the building. You've been dismissed. See, because I wouldn't place myself amongst those that I don't care for. I won't consume content that I wouldn't believe that was created with me in mind. If I felt like something didn't have any value, it'll be my duty to stay far away from that, create as much distance as I can between me and what has zero value. But what I tend to find is that people who believe we have the least value in the market will be the same people that constantly engage with our product. Now, I don't know what you call that. Some people call it marketing, but I call it mischievous. You know, it's mischievous behavior from overgrown adults. But I'm here to get a job done. I'm in the building to get a job done. I'm at the forefront to get a job done, and I'm talking to the doers out there, right? So the first topic we're going to talk about today is T-Pain. For people who do not know, T-Pain made his way over to Shannon Sharpe's podcast, and he had some choice words for a couple of different people. Now, T-Pain seems to be at the home stretch of his career, and he seems to be reflecting on some of the things that took place. But in this particular time, I feel like something is on his heart and he's trying his best to cover it up and smile through it. But I think he feels a certain kind of way. So T-Pain went on Shannon Sharpe's podcast and had some very choice words surrounding DJ Khaled. Let's take a look at what he said. Pay attention.
What have you learned about this business in 20 years?
Nobody is your brother. Nobody.
Come on, Pain. Don't do that. Pain,
Nobody.
Pain, because I hear it all the time. That's my brother. I hear it,
You
Pain.
done seen so many dicks in that locker room. None of them is your brother.
Come on, Pain.
Nobody is your brother. Everybody's your brother while they can use you. Everybody. Everybody is your brother while they can use you. Nobody is your brother. That is the quickest and the most consistent thing that I've learned through this whole thing.
You had to learn that the hard way?
Everybody, and you know what? It's only that say you my brother. That I'm telling, just like that. No.
Yeah, because you wouldn't allow somebody that didn't say that to get close to you.
Yeah, you would. Yeah, you would. I'd rather you tell me what the business was and not have the brother aspect in there and just say, hey, look, here's what I want to do. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a hook. I'm going to put a verse on this shit. We're going to make a bunch of money. We're going to separate for a little bit and I'm going to come back. When I need you again, let's do it again. Blah, blah, blah. I'd rather know the plan than to say, you my brother, you my brother, you my brother,
nah,
you my brother. We always gonna be together. We ain't gonna never separate. Anytime you need me, I'm here for you. Anytime you need me, bum bum bum. But nah, bro, it's that brother shit. Nobody is your brother. I've had DJ Khaled. Everybody done told me I'm your brother. Do not believe that shit.
Lord have mercy, Kane.
That is the
Man, you know you're going to get me in trouble, man.
You gonna get us in trouble.
What you mean? How gonna get us in trouble?
All that, but no. I mean, when I say shit like DJ Khaled, it's very apparent.
Yeah.
Like DJ Khaled knows how to move. He knows how to, do things with different people and shit like that. But it's like, it's not a DJ Khaled type of thing. That's just the first person I can think of. But we talking about so many people, because you got to think of how many people I've helped throughout their career. Mm-hmm. Everybody is like, oh my God, thank you so much. You're my brother. And it's just so much of that back to back. You're my brother, you're my brother, you're my brother, you're my brother. And then none of that shit was reciprocated. None of that shit came back. None of that shit meant anything. When people tell you how much you mean to them, don't grab onto that. When people tell you how much they can mean to you in return, that's the shit you gravitate towards.
Damn.
When there's people on your team, mm-hmm. and sometimes, like I love telling people that they're about to get a raise.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I love going to my team and like, hey, I'm about to get you a raise. And when somebody says, thank you, man, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, this is probably gonna be your last raise. But when I go to somebody and I say, yo, you about to get a raise, and they say, can I, is there something
something else I can do
more work? Like, can I?
Yeah.
Can you like also raise like my responsibilities or something? Them the people you keep around.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yes.
Them the people you keep around. And when you do something so astronomical as to building somebody's career, and they just say, yo, you my brother, bro. Bop, gang. Never gonna see you again. And then it's like when you do something astronomical, like, bro, you built my career up. There has to be something I can do for you. That's the people you keep around with you.
So clearly, this was a diss at DJ Khaled. I think T-Pain did try to come out and backtrack and walk back some of the comments and said that y'all just have a different vernacular because I'm from the South or something like that. Well, I'm from the South as well, and I think T-Pain needs to live in his truth. I think there's a lot of people in the industry that's living with these kind of stories. Not necessarily about Khaled. I do think Khaled is in an interesting position because there's an extreme upside for Khaled. And when we look at it, Khaled doesn't even rap or he doesn't produce, according to people I speak to in the industry. And again, Loon's not attacking Khaled. I'm attacking the system Khaled benefits in, right? So Khaled understands how to work the brother system. And for me, I understand that the industry has a silicone soul. And in this game, brother is damn near like a promo code. It's damn near like use code brother to get 70% off or whatever you need this rap to do. And so people believe Khaled to be in a position of where he'll brown nose a little bit to get the job done. And so even from outside of the industry, I watch people weaponize the family word to cloak our business behind family. It leads me to believe that there's certain perks there and there's certain understanding there that may not be there. It may be a very hollow relationship, but it's just using the family word because it get a work for cheap. See, it's real old game. If you really come from the game, you know, try to use that brother word and they try to use that I with you type vibe to get a work for cheap. And so I come in the game, I come in the industry, from outside of the industry, I watch people and I watch how they weaponize their family word. I've watched people appropriate family culture and cloak business behind this family word as a means to get results, as a mechanism of control. And so we do have to watch people. I think T-Pain is talking right, but at the same time, we have to ask Pain, have you been the person to do that fake friendship shit? See, what I need folks to understand, and I've always understood, that's why I don't do it, that fake friendship shit is a weird dance you is playing. I was younger and had mad respect for Jay-Z, but I ain't gonna lie, I had questions. Yo, they called they whole shit Roc La Familia. Benny Siegel went up to get a lawyer and the door wasn't answered. He needed to get out of jail. Jay, hey man, I ain't got nothing to do. This business. And at that point, maybe Jay had grew up. I'm not sure, but I had questions. I understood that we were lost in the sauce at this point. And so when I see my people in rap and they run around giving each other Italian mob names, see, they playing on this. They playing on this. See, back in the day, they used to name themselves behind Italian mob families. And it'll be a record label and they'll sign you to a record deal under the cloaks of La Familia on some mob kind of shit, like part of the family kind of shit. And so it's illusion to the brain. You think that this situation inherits the rules of the mob because you ain't checking the tags. I'm into checking the tags moving forward. And while you'll be dealing with black Americans doing high level business in rap and cloak their self behind an Italian's name and inherit the values of the mob while doing business, really bad business. And so you'll watch T-Pain be frustrated and understand that, yo, what he really saying is what we doing is we watching DJ Khaled move around using brother as a promo code. You know how when I read an ad, use my code. Yeah, some of these know how to get in these rooms and use my code brother and you can get everything damn near free. You understand what I'm saying? But at some point, men have to recognize when people weaponize. We got to recognize when people start to weaponize. And it's messed up because you'll have good people out here that mean what they say and stand on their word that's also in the mix with some of these people that's playing high level games. Some of these folk that done read their bullshit for their laws of power and all that, and they think they executing high level game. That shit is outdated and old. And I say that respectfully. Everybody got to start somewhere, but that's outdated game. Update your software, loved one. You know, we also got to look at who's talking. We dealing with T-Pain. He was at the top of the game. That made a lot of money. I'm talking about that dude made a lot of songs where music was really profitable. And he did help a lot of people. He jumped on a lot of songs. There was a lot going on with T-Pain on it. A lot of radio records, like a lot of labels. But T-Pain never put nobody on. And that's where your legacy is always going to live at. You can scream from the top of the mountain about how many plaques you got. It got to be the rest of the world that's saying, nah, he put 6, 7 people. He got a family tree. Like, his greatness wasn't just about him. It was about more than just him. And I think T-Pain suffers from, in his career, we've yet to see him put people on. Now, he may argue that me giving those people songs put them on, and I can push back on that, and we can have that conversation. But I think at the end of the day, the culture has a different level of respect for the people that grab stuff and create something out of it, right? You'll see Jay-Z get reverence because all the people and all the business he done outside of music. You'll see 50 get that reverence because of all the business he done outside of music, as well as inside of music. You'll see Cash Money get that reverence because of all of the business that they have done in music and all of the different artists that has came through their infrastructure. When we look at T-Pain, we don't see those same results. But when you hear him say something like that about Khaled, I think it's important that we all understand that what he's saying is, I believed in that brother shit. That's what really hurt my feelings. He's saying he's hurt, and people may not recognize that, but he's definitely saying, yo, I believe them when they, some of them, I believe them when they come with that brother talk, and I see that didn't really materialize. And so now you have to live with the harsh reality as, man, I got all the money, and they may have stole some money along the way, but they also stole my perspective on people. That's when they tell you, people, that this industry is dangerous. Because when you get here, you start to understand, oh man, that ain't even like he ain't even, and he talking God talking, he really he talking uplift your people, and he really a hater. He talking how he really a real, he a sucker. That's why I gotta create the method. I don't ride no wave. I tell that, yo, I create the method. We stand at the top of the mountain as some of the innovators in this culture. And me and God got to understand that as long as I got breath in my lungs, if they make the sea, I make the sail. They make the wall, I make the door. You hear me? I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to really figure it out every step of the way. I ain't going to even allow them to get ahead of me. But again, this isn't a diss at Khaled. This is an examination of the ecosystem that Khaled thrives in. Now, I also want to take you guys to where Ace Hood came on my show, and he had some things to say about DJ Khaled. It's important that we understand that this business breeds bad behavior. And so I listen to Pain, and he talks about Khaled, and I say, well, I just had Ace Hood on. And for me, I heard Ace Hood go to Joe Budden podcast, and he spoke about, there was a 7-figure buyout as it pertains to me getting out of my deal with DJ Khaled. And I didn't understand that. At least me looking at the business and saying, he done been very successful. I'm sure he's recouped. He has songs that has went platinum 4 and 5 times over when you look at his catalog, right? And so I was always interested in, why did it cost $1 million for you to leave that deal? And so he explained it on the episode, and I think he was trying to be diplomatic, right? Ace Hood's a good dude, so he's trying to be diplomatic. I also want to look at what he said about Khaled, seeing that T-Pain is saying, Khaled is surviving in this weird little space where he's not a rapper, he's not a producer, but everybody is his brother. And I don't know Khaled. I know people around Khaled. Some of my business connects and my political connects, got a lot of respect for them. But we're examining the game. Pay attention to what Ace Hood said about DJ Khaled on this Up There podcast. Let's look at this clip. Button podcast, because I don't understand this, and maybe you can, help gain some clarity. But you said that when you were getting out of the Khaled situation, that it was 7 figures. What does that mean? Like, how does that look as far as like contract negotiate? What does that mean? You just need to pay $1 million? Is that what the verbiage of that is, or what?
Well, at that time, it was just a number, right? You know what I'm saying? So before any negotiation or anything went down, or any discussion around the contract, this is what bro wanted initially. But again, I'm a young man who understands the both ends of the spectrum. So I'm understanding, like, this is just a fluff number. This is just something to scare me. This is something coming off of currently his frustration, right, and how we feel, and boom, boom, boom. But also too, it was very real for me. So, and I knew at the reality at that particular time, I couldn't just up and give bro a meal. You see what I'm saying, for the situation. And I feel like that would have been just taken advantage of in this too at that point too. I'm like, to give you an M for real, like, you know what I'm saying? When I know my work done spoke for itself, like it's cooled down and everything like that. Once we got to and even, everybody even killed, now it's like, now we can have a real conversation about this. You know what I'm saying?
And I seen on Breakfast Club where they kind of asked him about you.
Meant to ask, we the best. Ace Hood was like your first artist, the first time. Are you still in Ace Hood? Y'all still together? Or
Ace Hood doing his own thing. You know what I'm saying? That's my brother. I support him 100%.
He not signed to We the Best no more?
He is, but he wants to do his own thing. You know what I'm saying?
Why? Why right now? You red hot?
Everybody makes their own decisions, but at the end of the day we got love. It ain't no like, like sometimes, artists might want to do something. And maybe, I can't speak for him. I don't know what he's thinking, but at the end of the day we bless him, we love him, and I've been with him from the birth of Ace Hood, so I've supported him, and I'm always going to love him. And if he ever need me, I'm here to support 100%.
He does kind of what Khaled does, kind of dance around it, and it's love, and you know what I'm saying? And then you tweeted following that. You said that only if everything you said in an interview was true. Have you guys spoken since then? What's the relationship with you guys, if at any?
Yeah.
But what's the feeling with Khaled and that situation with We the Best?
Well, there is no situation, you know what I'm saying, between me and bro. That's just only history between me and dog. On my end, I'm a man of love, you know what I'm saying? Right. Like so there is no love lost, you dig what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm not looking for anything from him, you know what I'm saying? I think that I wish him the best with what he has going on with his kids, with his family and everything, but there is no relationship. Not to say that there won't be a relationship nor a conversation, which I feel that maybe there will be, God willing to see it so, that it'll be a conversation between us two to mend some things out or to just have a conversation, but there's no relationship at this current moment.
What's holding it back? What do you think is? I mean, because if you cleared the debt, you paid whatever was asked, you guys negotiated a number. With you guys seeming to be so close during that run, what would make it at this point we haven't even spoken?
Right.
Like, what would you contribute that to?
Well, I would say there's a few things that contributes to that, right? So there was a moment in time for me where I took a step back from the industry, right? To just go more introspective, to learn about myself, to recreate myself, rebrand and all of that stuff. So that was that whole process that went down, right? When I became independent. So I went on my own personal journey to find me. And I feel
so you hear Ace Hood is like, yo, I share some of those experiences, and this came out before T-Pain went on Shannon Sharpe show, and also Ace Hood spoke about T-Pain on my show, and I think that's what makes this conversation a little interesting, because it's like, yo, when I look back at the person T-Pain may have became in that moment, right? He was on fire, literally. We probably ain't seen a run next to Drake and people like that, but we're talking about T-Pain coming from the South, solo, records all across every genre. He was dancing everywhere because it was singing, but it was hip hop, right? And then the entire game was changing over to the auto-tune. Future helped it. Like, there's just a lot going on at one time. T-Pain is thriving. But I do remember when Future and Ace Hood was trying to just shoot a video for Woke Up in a New Bugatti, and he come out, yo, that's my car. It's like he was kind of asshole then, for saying that. And I think, I don't know where he was in his mind, and I think the competition with Future at that point, and Ace Hood explained it, but I don't think that was T-Pain's best decision. I don't know Pain, but looking back at that, it feels like a hater move. But some of the bigger records that Pain has, he gave to Khaled. All I Do Is Win and shit like that. Khaled is gonna eat for generations off them kind of records. And T-Pain know what it take to get going in this industry. It take a whole bunch to get going. And if I'm being completely honest, if we're just depending on DJ Khaled to get you going without him using any other rappers as features, I mean, he has a lot of relationships, but I think it's a hard fight. But if he's able to use the promo code brother, then he may be able to get this new artist, T-Pain, jump on this joint, Rick Ross jump on this joint, Baby may say a few words on this joint. I get Drake. I can pull some strings because I'm using promo code brother. And so when we think about what music was, it was in a totally different spot. Even when we look at it now, we're talking about, we've watched our industry devalue music in our face and nobody done nothing. Everybody just sat there and watched them devalue music in front of our faces. Now, the splits didn't change. In some regards, they even got worse. Here's the trick. They hid behind payouts because streaming boomed. But we'll get into that. I want to talk to you guys about an article that I was just reading about the record labels and how they're pushing for Spotify to raise its prices as it pertains to what it's paying to license the music. This is a very interesting conversation, but I want to deal with some of the backdrop. When we look at the entire entertainment industry, as it pertains to streaming, music is still on the rookie contract. And so you're going to see them parrot behind some kind of artist-centric rollout to make it seem like whatever they're fighting for is in the best interest of the artist. But I do want to look at the backdrop of some of these conversations. We've watched them devalue rap in a way that I was always surprised on the outside. It's a reason why rap feels dead. I would argue that it's not dead, but it feels dead because they've devalued the feeling. It's a cheap thrill now. All right, let me speed it up and give you some game. I remember a time when there was no Netflix and all you had to deal with was like Comcast, which was Xfinity, which was another company before that. I can't think of the name. But what we were dealing with is everyone was watching cable TV. They even started to put add-ons on cable to where it was starting to become astronomical. I mean, people were paying $500 a month, right? Not because that was the base package, but there's this new culture that I'm now, because I'm a business owner and I have to study some of these funnels and some of these plans, I'm starting to understand the add-on hustle, the funnel hustle, right? And so we're just dealing with it on a high level. Peep game. I remember when cable was the thing, right? And so cable was in a scenario where everybody had cable in their home. I mean, your home was not a home without cable. And while music had already started to shape what it looked like and felt like as it pertains to LimeWire, Napster, and I'm just freestyling, so if I get some of this wrong, y'all bear with me. On the other side of entertainment, you had music, which was forming and understanding that the download was coming. And we were going to have to shape shift and figure out a way to profit off this download thing. Something's going on, right? And so on the other side, in home entertainment, when we deal with cable TV, stuff started to pop up like what? Like Netflix. Netflix understood, number one, everybody had cable, so they dominated the market. They had to devalue what you felt about cable. Oftentimes, you got to take a loss to do so. And while we saw all of that innovation in traditional TV, music from an artist level stayed the same. They didn't band together. They didn't bundle anything together. They're waiting on the labels to figure stuff out. And I think that's the problem. We're not utilizing each other. We're not utilizing the tools. We're not utilizing our understanding. Listen, when I saw Netflix pop up back in the day, they started to attack what you were paying for cable. They were attacking even live TV. They were attacking something that was a luxury in America for quite some time. Live television. You're watching this live and we're reporting live from, they took something that was a luxury and they devalued it. They started to tell you, man, you know, I know y'all talking that live TV talk, but who wants to have to be home at a certain time to watch something? They have control over y'all. They know everyone to be at home at 8 watching. They flipped the narrative. And they changed the customer behavior and made the customer believe that, yeah, forget that live TV stuff and it's too high and it'll go out. Long as I got internet, I can get Netflix. Now, Netflix came in at a lower price because sometimes you got to take a loss to make a point. So they came in at a lower price and stole the entire market. Change the customer behavior only to do what? Raise the prices right back up on you. So while you complained about cable being high for all of that time, now when you look around after you get done playing for Netflix and Hulu and sports and NFL and NBA and your favorite movie channel, you now in a position of where you're back paying what you were paying for cable before Netflix came in and made their justification. So it's high level game. But in music, we watched them devalue it and nobody done anything. And so when I say the music business is still on the rookie contract, what I mean is they're still moving how they did in the 80s. That's what I be looking at some of the rappers and saying, y'all ain't understood. You got to come get with Loon and roll out an interview and some content. You got to put Loon, Aiden, and some of these, and we got to roll out some shit together to make a real impact across all markets. Y'all really still hustling like y'all in the 80s. Man, you better ask them is in jail now. You better update your software. Is still hustling. Listen, they still getting a record, dropping 2 videos, and then letting the labels push them to the same radio stations doing the same 1-2. Everybody else is elevated they hustle. Now, I ain't saying everybody doing that. Salute to Travis Scott. You'll see the Astro Worlds pop up. Salute to Drake. The OVO Fests pop up. You'll see some of these things, right? You better learn how to bundle and innovate your hustle. All that hustling like y'all in the 90s. Drop an album, put a video out, and let the label just work it to whoever they tell you to go sit with, wherever they tell you to go, and you wonder why you get left out in the cold when they done with you, because you don't know the method. I keep telling you, when they with me, they create the ocean, I create the sail. They create the lock, I create the key. I ain't even focusing on what they creating. Whatever they create, I'm going to create the bigger thing, the better thing, the thing that'll outlast theirs. So let them create on. Let them hate on. You ain't learning no methods. It's places I go in America right now. You sub to fill your gas tank up and get a free Apple subscription. Yeah, the industry is moving. It's the artists that ain't moving. Man, you sub to go and buy a movie ticket and get a free Apple subscription, Netflix. See, because they trying to change your behavior. It's only the artists that's sitting there saying, y'all let me know what to do when y'all figure it out. You got to be more innovative or you're going to get left behind. And not only am I not a fan of the 1980s music business hustle that these rappers usually do, which is drop an album, drop a video, and go wherever the label tell you to go. I want people to take note and take notice of when Loon sits on the top of the mountain and say, yo, they have no interest in valuing the artists of today. I think there's so many clear indicators. I just gave you one. I'll even give you another one. Look how they playing with AI right in these faces. And so you'll have some artists, well, I'm not doing the AI thing. I'm just not going to allow it to happen. You know, I'm not going to give my voice over to the AI. And so what they're sitting back saying is, oh, this fool don't know. He think he bigger than the program. You in our system, boy. Oh, so you don't want to participate in AI. So what you're saying is we won't be able to get your voice and style in our system. So I tell you what we'll do. The next couple of acts we sign, again, we'll take the loss similar to how Netflix did when they wanted to change the customer behavior. We'll take the loss and invest in a new crop of artists. These next couple of artists, what are they used for? We weaponize this next crop of artists to work with our legacy artists to sign off their rights to singles that we can then put into the machine or the system or the AI learning model or whatever we're using on the back end is trying to train some of these systems on how to make music and continue to devalue what music looks like. And so when you see some of these labels or whoever dropped this press release come out and say, yo, they're fighting for artists, you got to remember what that means. It's really game up under game. They running high level game on folks because they're not renegotiating the splits. They're renegotiating the subscriptions. And there's two different conversations, but they're using the artist as a shield to make the artist fight for them because who's the loudest people on the planet? The artist. Who has the most influence? The artist, right? So if I can get you to believe that you're emotionally involved and this is in your best interest, maybe I get you to fight for me or take some time. And listen, all of these blogs are bought anyway, so they can kind of put the narrative out anyway by way of just spending the money with these blogs. They'll post whatever the labels say if they just pay them the money. Point blank, period. Spotify already pays roughly 70% of music revenue out as it stands today. And so when you have that kind of cost line, you got to remember that, number one, they're under pressure from their shareholders to get that margin high. Like, we want to see better profits. As we're looking at Netflix, they keep raising the price. They trick them people over there for $7 a month. And now they done got it up to $30 and $40 a month. Hulu got you over there for free, but you got ads every 10 seconds. But what'll happen? If you pay the money, you don't get no ads. You get what's called premium. And then if you pay on top of that, you can get 4K. And then what about on top of that? You can really get 8K and you can get to record something, right? They took you right back to cable, but they itemized it on you. It made everything add-ons. I was looking at that in real estate. I said, oh, that's the new game. The new game is add-ons. Get you in here for cheap and hit you with a bunch of add-ons. This is the new hustle. And I'm also tell you something to help them trick artists. This is the real game. This is something to help them trick artists. People get it confused that people are still in bad deals. The music business, for the most part, has not changed. Outside of maybe a select few artists, the music business has remained the same. There are a lot of people in bad deals. Now, the only difference is the splits didn't change, but in came this new line item, and there was some payouts happening because streaming exploded. And so to be stuck in up deals, and they would still get money because streaming was new. And so sometimes they gave the illusion that the music business had changed. I believe what's happening in the music right now is the same thing that happened in traditional TV when Netflix came in. Now, music will always be music, but the behavior has to change. We have to change the behavior, similar to how they changed the customer behavior from traditional TV to now you get to watch it on demand. See, what you didn't know is that Comcast played a role in changing their own customer behavior. How did they do that? They had their own on-demand system. But now this was the final boss on demand, the Netflix. And so now they had to compete with what they've already helped create, and it just blew them out the water. What we're dealing with now is I think they're devaluing music. Streaming already turned fans into secret investors of the music ecosystem. People don't even realize that. Like, y'all are investing in Spotify, investing in Apple. That $15 a month, they look at y'all like shareholders. Y'all just don't own a percent of the company. That's the best kind of shareholder. It's like crowdfunding or some shit y'all doing. And I think music suffers the most because nobody's innovative, because nobody knows the method. The people that know the method are at the top of the food chain, and they're hiring other tech guys, and this business is about to get dark for people that's just still hustling like it's the 90s. Yo, I'm going to drop my album and drop some videos. Your career be dead soon. See, there's different kind of people in this industry, in this game, and in this entertainment thing, in business, period. There's people that control the knife and people that control the pie. One of the biggest assets of the person that controls the knife is that they give the person that controls the pie the illusion that they controls the split. And so when we deal with music, I think the first fight is with the splits that the artists are getting out of these contracts. And so I don't want to hear the labels telling me that they're changing the infrastructure for the artists when the contract didn't change. The only thing that changed is the invoice to Spotify, Apple, and Tidal. And so that's my thoughts on it. I want to have one more conversation too about the business. Today we just getting into the business. Podcasting is changing. For people who do not know, podcasting had a boom. A lot of people were relevant around the Kendrick Lamar and Drake battle. I didn't even participate in it. You know, I survived throughout it without even diving into it at all. I didn't invite one person on to have an interview about it. I didn't do any real commentary on it. Now, of course, I popped up sometimes when I was just bored and spoke about it, but maybe that was me losing money at that point, because according to everyone, you know, everyone thrived when Drake and Kendrick Lamar was going at each other and they had breakdowns. Nonetheless, we've been dealing with a changing market as we're talking about music and how it's still on its rookie contract. I think podcasting is now on its second contract, right? It's no longer on the rookie contract. It's on the second contract. And those that don't see that, they're still operating out of their rookie deal with their rookie understanding. Now, what I'm dealing with, we had a podcast by the name of Bigger Picture with Elliot Wilson, DJ Head, and Jeremy Heck. And we had Need to Know podcast with Alex and Savon, who are part of the Joe Budden universe. And so because they're part of the Joe Budden universe, I think it's only right that we play our theme song. Hit that music, y'all. The Need to Know boys. You know I'm from the South, man. Turn me up. Sitting in the ghetto thinking about. That's our version of it. Now, Savon and Alex, they had a show called Need to Know. Before I get into my commentary, I do want to give them a chance to tell you some of what happened to them and some of the obstacles they face while running their business. Pay attention to this clip.
On the outside with the studio, with all the success and the guests and the beautiful part of it. But the reality is the DEI affected us. directly.
It definitely did.
So, what DEI is, for anybody who doesn't know, DEI is diversity, equity, inclusion. So a DEI program is basically a plan by a company, school, or organization to welcome different people, give fair opportunities, and make sure everyone can participate. According to ChatGPT, why many organizations saying they're stop or rewriting their DEI programs, there are several reasons, often overlapping. Here are the big ones. Legal pressure. Some federal and state rules have changed, and organizations feel that certain types of DEI efforts could raise legal risk. Political shift in businesses. All right, I'm not going to go through all of this, but you understand what DEI is.
Yeah.
DEI was discontinued.
Yeah. After
on a federal level.
Mm-hmm.
So all of the brands that I had mentioned earlier, the McDonald's, the Walmarts, the Hulus, the Magnums, all of it, they no longer had to. They were not obligated to invest or work.
Put money aside for
with Black creators.
Mm-hmm.
And that directly affected us to where the agency that we work with no longer was receiving the money from those companies.
Yep.
And that company no longer, or our ad agency no longer felt like they could or had the money to spend with us in the same way that they were before.
Yeah.
Didn't just affect us, but it affected everybody.
Now you're so right. And we were so confused, right? Because we're like, we had a certain amount of ads coming in per month. And then when we kind of got the understanding of what was changing, right, and what was removed, you start to realize how things on the federal level can affect you here at the ground level. So yeah, that was a very, very big part of it. And we've had to kind of just keep it pushing, right? Trying to keep costs afloat, trying to make sure that there's certain money in the accounts to pay for the things that we have to pay for, right? Employees got to get paid, certain back end.
So you get the gist of it. Basically, one of the things they cited was DEI. Number one, let me say this. Running a podcast is hard. Running a business in podcasting is hard. It's way more than conversation. I know people see it happen and they think, I can do that, man. We do that all the time where I'm from. There's people that I have watched kind of try to follow me and follow my footsteps, which that's why I leave footprints in the sand. That's exactly why I leave footprints in the sand. So can try that. If they leave with nothing else, they'll have respect for what I've done because they tried to do it themselves at the bare minimum. Now, let me say this. There's a lot of people from the Joe Budden universe, and I say this respectfully because Joe Budden has built the ecosystem I have a lot of respect for. And salute to the homeboy Ish. We ain't spoken in a while, but that's my guy. But it's important that all of these gentlemen understand that standing to a chef don't make you a chef. It make you a sous-chef. Nah, just because you bring me the lemons don't mean, right? Just because you brought me the onions don't mean, just because you might have cut the meat. Yeah, understand me? You a sous, yeah, man, come on now. So I need people to understand that when we start to have these high level conversations, because when I'm listening, some niggas will chime in and I say, where that bravado come from? Where the that bravado come? How they get to talk like that? These gentlemen come from the Joe Budden universe. I'm not sure. I think I may have seen this show one time when they had Joe on, and the fans sent me a clip where they spoke about me. I guess they didn't favor something that I was speaking about. They were trying to be on Academic's good side, and so he won't even acknowledge that the show canceled or it was ever created. But that's nonetheless. But said something about, I guess I'm not their cup of tea, which is fine because I'm not everyone's cup of tea. I'm not interested in being everyone's cup of tea. That's not something that I'm ecstatic about being everyone's cup of tea. But I know it's too many people that got stamina from other people's work. I know too many of y'all got bravado that y'all ain't earned, views that y'all ain't accumulated, right? And I'm seeing high level games going on, right? When I look at, because when this happened, the first thing I said was, whoa, this is the Joe Budden's universe. Let's look into this a little more and see what happened. They said they were making money last year. They blamed DEI. Listen, I don't participate in pity parties. And that's not to downplay DEI. I don't want to sound like I'm someone that has any kind of influence that's downplaying DEI, because that's not my understanding of it. But I'm interested in equal opportunity, but not equal outcome. And I think when we start to get into that equal outcome spot, I think that's when we get to a slippery slope. Now, what I do want to say is DEI in itself is not that, but we do have people like these gentlemen that has benefited when they couldn't sustain that interest with the company without the DEI thing in place. Because if the numbers was numbering, none of my shit is based on DEI. I didn't even I'm not interested in going to pity parties, right? I want to go to the party where they see the value in what in the dish I'm bringing. See, that's the thing. This thing, we got culture. We all bring a dish to the party, right? They bring the music. I bring this kind of conversation. They bring that kind of conversation. I won't allow them to devalue my dish at the party. All that it's a DEI project and we looking to promote on black podcasts. I'll pass on that one, love. The relationship is not real. Again, I tell y'all, fake relationships, that's a weird spot to be in. I'm not interested in being your token black show. Now, that could be counterproductive, and that's exactly why I don't make all the decisions by myself. Right? I got a team of people that's involved because there may be a productive move to go and be a certain show at a certain spot, but just from a holistic standpoint, it just feels nasty. But sometimes I got to be utilized as a tool. I got to know I ain't going to feel the greatest in every door I walk in. I ain't going to feel the greatest doing everything I must do for the cause and the culture. And I'm going to do it by myself. I ain't interested in connecting arms with none of these sucker ass. Cause they ain't hustlers and they don't come up like I come up. So the word brother don't mean nothing to them. The word friend don't mean nothing to them. Respect don't mean nothing to them. They can be bought and sold. I can't do it. So I'm doing this alone. I need to support the money. Send the money. Yeah, you don't got to show up. Send the money. Same time I'm watching Joe. And they say he made 20 million last year. And I'm saying, man, that's a lot of money, right? And so I'm watching how he moving. Number one, PSA for everybody out there. And for me, I look at Flip and say, when they put Flip on the show, they elevated the show. But they elevated in a way that I felt like you can never get rid of Flip now. Right? It's like putting salt on your chicken. It's like once you feed the dog table food, it's going to be hard to now feed them dog food. And I see them struggling with that now with the camaraderie that they have on the show. It's kind of rough. It's just kind of, it ain't cohesive like it was with Mel and Flip, and they had got into a groove, right? It's a bumpy road for the last ones that I had watched. And so what I'm noticing is that he's trying to, in my opinion, and again, I'm speculating, but it feels like he's trying to remove Flip from the show. I think that's a mistake. And the reason I think it's a mistake is because I think Flip presents a dynamic that nobody else can present. They may say the new girl Mona presents that, and I would argue the other side of that. But what I will say is this: it's 100% fact that he's phasing them out. And so I'm hearing behind the scenes that Joe Budden is phasing Flip out to phase Surf in when he gets out. They're saying, I guess Surf got 60, 90 days left. Then he may got 6 months and he'll be acclimated after that, right? So maybe sometime next year you replace that Flip energy with Surf. And I think Surf can handle Mona. I think Mona has now put Flip in a weird spot because of all of the shit that happened with Mel. If Mona was the first person, I think Flip handles that different and he handles it better. But while I watch podcasts and I watch what Joe's built, and he's built something astronomical, he's making a lot of money, these guys are successful. I need people to understand they have now changed their customer behavior, and that's the only way that you win in this game. So what I'm trying to train you guys to understand is that the only people standing still is the artists. Even us at It's Up There podcast, we are changing our customer behavior. Even the guys on streaming and Twitch, they've changed the YouTubers' customer behavior. So now you got to spend something, man, or you're going to see a bunch of ads. Now, They can circumvent the process because Twitch is owned by Amazon and there's no in-app purchase for you to be paid. You can just have a Prime membership and still get your money right. This a whole thing that goes. But I'm telling y'all, it's high-level business being ran. The only people standing still is the artists waiting on the label to figure it out. We over here doing podcasts saying, yo, I know you like to watch the show, but get used to spending $5 a month on it. Get used to spending $10 a month on it. Get used to spending $20 a month on it. We're changing our customer behavior. The artist is still going to record his music and dropping 1 and 2 videos and trying to go on tour and thinking that's just all he has to do. I think that's where he suffers at. That's me. That's my opinion. That's how I give it up. So sometimes you don't understand everyone's moves, right? I believe that a lot of the people that's impactful in the market are great podcasters. I think sometimes it's a bad fit. Now, what I will say is this. Your job is to expand your audience. And so sometimes you'll bring in a girl that may has a female audience and you're trying to get them acclimated over here with you. There's a balancing act that's happening on the show, not just with you. See, sometimes a person like Joe can be someone that's in that position and believe in his ability to figure this out, right? Like, yo, I can adjust to a new host at any moment. Like, they can throw anybody in here. We'll figure it out. Give us 4 months. We'll figure it out. Everybody can't do that. And I think sometimes he's asking of his co-host a bit much. You understand? Because you now asking these people to just be like, yo, a new energy, a new vibration, a new voice at any moment can just enter the building. It's like a Royal Rumble over here. Yeah, this shit like Royal Rumble. Every 30 seconds, it's like a new nigga running to the couch. Right? But all in all, I think podcasting is doing well. I think we have a far way to go, right? I'm still building my team around my business because, again, it is a volatile business. I also see a lot of people that's struggling to get views, they're struggling to get listens. Like, it's a dark time for podcasters. You know, my word is my word. I'm gonna try to continue to be who I am and continue to bring good content. Hopefully y'all enjoy it. But with the canceling of all these other shows, what do I feel and what's my thought process on the end of It's Up There podcast? Find out on the next episode of It's Up There podcast. I love y'all. See y'all next week. Love.